All right, man, we are back. You are now rocking with the best. This is the best of seven sports talk. Seven Mitchell in the building, Jo in the building. We live streaming. We got to talk the association. It's hoops time. Jo, what's popping, my brother?
What's good, man? We about to get in some stuff, man. It's about to be a explosive, explosive show. Let me just say
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely, man. I am definitely excited. I don't want to waste no time. I know the people is going to be in the live chat. Let me give the people a second, and then we're going to go get started. Give me 1 second, Jo.
Yo,
Second. Yeah.
yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm coming through clear.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, man. Let's get right into it, man. We got to talk about the NBA playoffs. Everything is locked and loaded. The seeds are done. We just had our first play-in game since 1956 yesterday with the Trailblazers beating Memphis. So it's locked in. Number one, number 8. We got the Lakers versus the Trailblazers. Now, the good thing, or the good news rather, for the Lakers is that they're the number one seed in the Western Conference playoffs. This is the first time that they've had this position in, I think, Jo, about 10 years. But the bad news is that this is probably the least valuable number one seed in NBA history because of the bubble. How is this thing going to pan out between the Trailblazers and the Lakers? Who you got? What are we doing here in this first round?
Yo, man, we didn't. Before the pandemic, we didn't see this matchup coming because, of course, it looked like Memphis Grizzlies had that 8 seed on lockdown, and now, man, with a hot Blazers team and a seemingly fading Lakers team, this looked like this could be an evenly matched series.
It's a tough matchup. I don't know what you mean by blazing hot Blazers team. I mean, they got in by a play-in game by beating Memphis. Dame Lillard is hot. Melo is playing great. I don't know as a whole that team is that great. It's a good matchup on paper. I got my Lakers. Who do you got winning this series and why?
I have the Blazers winning this series in 6 games
Oh my
because
God. Oh my God.
we have Damian Lillard, who's the hottest player in the NBA. We have a career resurgence from Carmelo, and we also have Nurkic that came back from a broken leg, and he's playing like a top 5 center.
First of
I
all,
mean, I can go on and on and on.
I think you need to stop right there because Nurkic got body bagged by LeBron when he was in Cleveland. So you can throw him out. He's just not a factor. Carmelo and LeBron, I'm really happy for that matchup. I love that. Dame Lillard may be the hottest, but is Dame Lillard the best in the NBA? Yes or no? That's all I want to know.
No, Dame Lillard is clearly not
Thank you.
the best player in the
Thank
NBA, but we would break down Lillard his ranking later on in the show, but sometimes being the hottest is that's more important than being the best. So you can't just disregard that.
The Trailblazers have some big time defensive troubles, Jo. How do you think that they're going to be able to respond to that when we got LeBron and AD and you got JR and with Dion coming off of the wing? Like, I get it. Dame is on a mission, it seems like, but this is the same old story. We done seen the Trailblazers get pretty deep in the postseason, get to the second round, and they just don't have enough overall firepower. And, it took them this much because of their lack of defense to get to the playoffs. Offensively, I think they like a 5th seed, but realistically, because of their lack of defense, they're 8th seed. So what do you
Now
say about that?
I have to acknowledge their lack of defense, and their entire starting 5 all is not great defenders. I mean, Dame Lillard not a great defender. McCollum, Melo, Nurkic is decent. So I have to acknowledge that. I think the white guy, the shooter, he's not a great. So I have to acknowledge that. And I actually think, with that being said, I could see LeBron getting a lot of layups in the series, because I saw Ja Morant just get to the hole and lay the ball up at will yesterday.
So what do you think
that's
AD going to do?
concern.
So what is AD going to do? If you think LeBron going to get to the rack like that, what do you think AD? That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Really?
See, I think Portland have more for AD than LeBron in this particular series. When you're talking about Whiteside,
who's still banged up. He's not healthy. Whiteside is not healthy. Nurkic is just coming back.
Is still a long body. He's still a shot blocker, one of the best shot blockers in the game.
That's true.
Nurkic is still 7 foot and physical. Melo can body up with AD, but of course the length is just too much when it comes down to it. So, but LeBron, I mean, unless Melo turns back the hands of times on the defensive side, I don't see how, unless Gary Trent, who's another player that's been on fire, can just stay in front of LeBron.
That is so disrespectful. I got to talk to the bosses. Don't even start this. Don't start this. Gary Trent is not.
Gary Trent can stay. He can stay in front of LeBron. I don't know. Look, he got to force LeBron to shoot, but it's a tall order. I admit it's a tall order.
Man, it's a 6'9". It's a 6'9", 260-pound order, man. It's not happening.
But it's an old tree though. It's an old bark. So
I think we can admit Carmelo is going to get up for this series. I don't know how much Carmelo will have in his tank if they were to beat the Lakers somehow, but I think facing LeBron in a 7-game series, he knows it's not just a one and done. Carmelo's going to get up. I know we can talk about his defense, but he's going to get up for this series. But again, Gary Trent is not stopping LeBron James, neither is Carmelo Anthony. And the only thing that I have to really keep in consideration, and this is a valuable point that you actually brought up, by this setting being in a neutral area, the home court advantage thing really goes out the window. And if Dame is hot in the bubble, that really will hold more weight than the person who I felt was the MVP throughout the whole year. So I am concerned about this being on neutral ground and Dame being so hot with the momentum. He don't have to travel anywhere. That could be a problem because my Lakers, since they've come back in the bubble, they haven't been playing the greatest basketball. I'm going to keep it real.
Well, the Lakers is also a good defensive team, and I find it hard that they won't put a lot of defense attention on Lillard, especially on some of these switches because Dame been killing on the ball screen and coming off the screen and shooting a deep three. I mean, you got AD who can play off the ball off any screen, and LeBron is serviceable, and you got Danny Green and a few other KCP that's tough. I don't know. Lakers really don't have anybody to guard Lillard, but collectively, I think they would give him attention, and that's just going to open guys up like Melo and Trent, and I keep forgetting the white guy that started at small forward, but it's going to come down to if Damian gets the help that he needs, because LeBron is going to like huddle his guys up and like, look, we may just double Damian as soon as he cross half court.
Yep, it's not a game. They're going to force someone else to beat them. So I really don't have that much concern. You talk about LeBron James. This is year 17. 35 years old. He's coming up on, I think, 35 years old. He might be 35. He led the league in assists this year for the first time in his career, man. Double digits in assists. What do you think about LeBron James? We talked about this a little bit off air, J.O. Is he aging? Is he pacing himself? What are we at? Where do you stand at right now with the King?
LeBron is fading before our eyes.
Wow.
LeBron is will be 36. What, his birthday in December? I think we seeing now. We've been waiting for a lot of people like myself. They've been waiting for LeBron, each year to be fading, and somehow he just charges up and kind of put on the Superman cape and play great ball. But this time around, man, like this bubble setting, I don't know what has gotten into his legs, but he just not exploding like he was prior to the bubble. So this could be this could be a big stain on his career if they lose this first round, which I have them losing. So this about to get nasty.
I really was trying to find LeBron James' Twitter account. I really wanted to apologize to him again for allowing you to come up on here being so rude and disrespectful to him, man. This is crazy. This man is averaging 25 and 10 in year 17, and you talking about you see him fading away. You're questioning his legs. They just been out of basketball for about 4 months. They locked up the number one seed like in the first couple days of the return. So there really was no need to even see LeBron or AD on the court for the majority of these games in the bubble. So, I mean, you just to me sound like a clear hater and it's clear and apparent that you want LeBron James to be out of the way, out of the picture. But I'm just confused on for who. Is it Kawhi that you loving all of a sudden? Is it KD? Like something is wrong here, but you are not giving LeBron his props.
So from your outlook, LeBron is just pacing in his bubble. Because to me,
Absolutely.
he's clearly aging. He's
But
clearly aging.
what does let me ask you a question. What does the Lakers have to benefit by putting their foot on the pedal for these last 8 games when they clinched the first seed after I think maybe the second or third?
Well, if you want to put it far as their seeding,
What was there ever
it,
a question about chemistry with the Lakers before the pandemic? Did we have any questions about
let's ask LeBron because LeBron said we clearly haven't been prepared to play playoff basketball as of yet. We still have a ways to go. He has, I'm paraphrasing, but he has said this week. So even he knows that.
but
Um,
I accredit that to the intangibles, the surroundings. There's no home court advantage. There's so many different
okay,
things.
so well, let's put that in. Okay, well that's part of the thing.
But
Why
everybody
I'm
has to.
saying it.
All the teams have to experience that. I won't put that under chemistry or as a problem for chemistry. The Lakers, to me, has not had a problem with chemistry all year. Even adding Dion Waiters, adding J.R. Smith, Avery Bradley not playing, other people not playing. It's just been next man up. They haven't had a problem to me.
Now it's interesting you brought up Avery Bradley because we discussed him maybe a month or two ago, and at the time I think we didn't necessarily see him being a big loss, but now in this bubble, we see the toughness is being missed. We see the perimeter defense being missed. And Avery was coming on strong offensively.
That's a
Uh,
fact. That's a
yeah, I
fact.
think he was a major part of them beating the Clippers the third game. So now that's a loss that you got to think about coming to this bubble. Dwight Howard, he was 56. He really didn't want to play. In the way he's been playing in the bubble, you can tell he didn't want to play because he been lackadaisical. So Lakers got a lot to pick up. And one more thing about LeBron, he's dealing with a groin injury. Well, he missed one of those games. We don't know if that's just him just pacing himself, but it looks like the way his lift and his first step there, I think that groin may be flaring up.
So what are you saying? Because you was real rude and disrespectful on our last show, Jo, saying that AD is the new leader of the Lakers and that this organization is going to have to go through Anthony Davis in order to be successful. So is that your stance for this playoffs? Are we putting LeBron James in the back seat or in the passenger seat for these next 2 months? Is that what we're doing? And
We
putting it
definitely
all on
doing
AD?
it.
Wow.
We we putting it on LeBron. Now LeBron he's going to be important, but I just don't see LeBron being, for them to win the title. LeBron can't be the best player because he don't have it in him anymore. Game in and game out to just dominate at will. He don't have that willpower anymore.
This is the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Seven Mitchell, J.O. in the building. You guys want to call up? We talking NBA playoffs, Lakers, Trailblazers. Call up, man. The number is in the description box, 929-436-2866, man. I'm just at a loss for words, man. Like I said, we've watched this guy over the last couple years average 28-8. He's now averaging 25-10. They got the number one seed after they didn't even make the playoffs last year, and you still have no respect. You giving all the praise to AD. So who was the MVP for the regular season this year? Dame got the bubble MVP, but who was the regular season? You going with Giannis?
Of course.
Oh, of course. Oh, my God. That's
of
crazy.
Course.
Unbelievable.
That's not debatable.
Unbelievable. If Giannis was not on the Milwaukee Bucks, they would have still been in the playoff hunt in the Eastern Conference. You take LeBron.
I highly doubt that, but
why? They still got an all-star in Chris Middleton. They still had some. They got both
he
of the
wouldn't be
Lopez.
all-star. He wouldn't be an all-star. Greek was on.
Yes, he would. Greek Freak. So wait a minute. You telling me that Greek Freak makes players better? We're seeing that from Giannis.
We seeing that. We seeing Lopez be a great shooter out of nowhere. We see Bledsoe playing well. We see everybody on their team is having career years. So
that's not because of Giannis. To me, I think that's just talent. These guys are not. Milwaukee is not to be slept on. Let's be real. I'm not giving Giannis the credit that I would give LeBron James. LeBron clearly makes his teammates better. He's been doing
Nobody on LeBron's team is having a career year. So nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I mean, you look at the team LeBron James have, man. He got champions on his team, man. He's got guys that's been to the promised land, that's been to the
He has a lot of players that's 30 and up like himself.
Hey, you are bugged out. I tell you one thing, man. There's no question. LeBron James, to me, he's going to take that number one spot from Kareem as far as the all-time score before it's over with. LeBron James is going to have every record in the book, and he's going to get another championship.
If he don't get a championship this year, it's over with.
How?
It's over with.
Wait a minute. This is unbelievable. This is the first year that AD has been playing with LeBron. So why didn't you say at the beginning of the year they only had 1 year to get it done?
I've always stated that because of the landscape of the NBA with KD being out, Boston getting better, Greek Freak, he has Milwaukee being great, and he can also go to another team at some point in the future. Like the upside of LeBron, this team that LeBron has collected, and with him fading, this is the greatest chance for him to do it. Not to mention the Clippers.
We got to reach out, man. We got to take some calls, man. 646, you now on the Best of Seven. What's popping?
Seven, what's good, my guy? Black Sheep, man.
Uh-oh, here we go. Time to turn the ratings up.
Yeah, and I got to agree with my man. Like, the Lakers go as far as AD takes them, man. Like,
Stop it, Black Sheep. You know sports. You need to stop it.
Listen. You was gloating on Twitter the other day talking about, yo, Slim, check out my man in his 17th season averaging 10.2 assists. You know how many turnovers the guy averaged?
I mean, his usage rate is that high, man. I mean, the ball goes through LeBron. I'm not blaming LeBron for the turnovers when the ball goes through him. I mean, he's the point. He's the general.
That's why I can't gloat over the assist. If the ball is in your hand 98% of the game, you're supposed to average that many assists, man.
Exactly.
Y'all being very disrespectful. So Black Sheep, how do you see this Trailblazers Lakers first round matchup panning out? What do you see when you see this matchup on paper?
I'm stoked that the Trailblazers got this 8th spot. I thought the NBA was gonna do some okie doke and let that young boy get in there. You know what I mean? To make it easy for LeBron and company. But this right here, 7, this is the shot for Melo to resurrect his career. And I feel Carmelo Anthony will help Dame Dollar eliminate the Los Angeles Lakers in 7 games, man.
Oh, my God.
Look at this. Check this out. You got to respect what Sheep is saying because Sheep been an all-time Dame Lillard hater. LeBron is so old, even he's giving it up and saying, look, it's looking bad for the Lakers. So this is like an unbiased view right now.
I'm just lost for words, man, because there's no one on Portland that can stop LeBron nor Anthony Davis. So what the hell is the Trailblazers going to do? And when the hell is Melo?
I'm going to tell you something.
He's going to bring up Gary Trent Jr. Watch this.
Listen to this, 7.
I'm listening.
Hakeem Whiteside is going to contain that Big Bird Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is soft. He's soft, bro. In that German on Portland, whatever his name is, gonna be roughing Davis up too, man.
Look what we have in the front court. First of all, that's very disrespectful to AD. But just look at the front court presence, fellas, and just tell me how Whiteside and a Nurkic, who just coming back, can deal with a JaVale McGee and a Dwight Howard and the Kyle Kuzma and the Anthony Davis. That's a lot of length in that front. That's a lot of length in that front court, bro.
Listen, JaVale McGee is a space cadet, man. Portland could get him out the game. Dwight Howard, he ain't the White as we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, J.O. did mention since the bubble because he really didn't want to come. We have seen a change in Dwight's play. I just feel like, because they locked up the first seed so early, they wasn't going to go hard in this bubble. They was just pacing themselves for the playoffs. Makes sense to me.
It's hard playing with turning off and turning on that switch, man. The Lakers is not built like that, man. I got Portland in 7 games. Damian Lillard's going to average 35 points and shoot about 45% from three-point range. And Carmelo Anthony get these niggas 22 points a game, LeBron's going home for sure, man.
Wow.
Who's going to guard CJ McCollum? Who's guarding him?
We got the best defense in the league.
Yo, word, CJ been hooping, boy.
But the Lakers have the best overall defense in the league, so I'm not worried about that.
Y'all backcourt is about to get smoked, man. Y'all can't contain Lillard. The game is going to be close. And I like Dame Dollar in the clutch over LeBron James, man. Dame can hit free throws. LeBron can't hit free throws in the clutch.
LeBron really don't need to hit free throws, man. They dominate so much. These games are not that close. It's not like back in the day.
Wait a minute, not in the bubble. Wait a minute. Let's put some clarity on it. Not these last 8 games.
But see, again, they have not been playing serious. Like, they have not put their foot on the gas, in my opinion.
Your bro LeBron looked like he ain't got no lift in that bubble, man.
No lift.
J.O. said it's over for LeBron. He said he's more or less aging, not pacing. Where you stand on that?
I agree with my man. I agree with my man right there.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Who's
the time is undefeated, 7.
Who's the MVP?
In the first round.
Who was the MVP of the season?
Oh, Giannis.
Wow. Is the Bucks not a playoff team in the East without Giannis?
Oh, the Bucks will probably win about 17 games without
No
Giannis.
way. No way.
Yeah, that team
no
got
way. That's worse than the Knicks. Stop it.
I'm serious. That team is trash without Giannis, man.
Yo. Oh, my goodness. Well,
yo, it's on tomorrow, 7. Yo, word is born. You should hold a watch party, man, so we can watch the game with you.
You know what? I think I should do that. I should do that.
I want to be watching the game with you.
Like the fourth quarter.
Live commentating of the game.
Like the fourth quarter.
Yes, we want that.
That's a bet. That's what we're going to get into. I'm going to set this shit up. That's a bet.
No doubt, family. I'm going to holler at y'all, fellas.
All right, man. Salute, Black Sheep. Appreciate you, bro. All righty.
No problem, man. Right.
That was the homie Black Sheep, man. Shout out to the gang. Make sure y'all subscribe to my guy, Black Sheep Media, man. Always doing this thing in sports and in battle rap. This is the best of 7 sports talk. J07 Mitchell in the building. We got one more subtopic before we get up out of here, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button if y'all in the live chat. Salute to all the sports fans and all that. Full podcast for the Best of 7 is available on Spotify and iTunes. So make sure y'all support the network, man. We definitely appreciate it. Top 5 NBA 2020. J.O. and I had to revamp our list because the game have clearly changed. So, J.O., I'm going to start off with you, and I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can because I just feel so much heat coming through this microphone. Who is your new top 5 in the National Basketball Association?
This right here is post-bubble and pre-playoff top 5 revised list.
Now, this is only, just to be clear, this is only the sample size of 2020, right?
Yeah, 2020. Some players
including the bubble,
because of some players won't be listed because of injuries or what have you. But as of right now, I'm going this sample size of 2020. This is what we have,
including the bubble play.
It's part of the season, so of course.
You're about to give Dame Lillard too much props. I already see it. Go ahead, knock yourself up. Number 5, please. Number
5, we have Anthony Davis, who's been great offensively, great defensively. He's been a better vocal leader. So start number 5, we have AD, and I don't think many people can disagree that he's top. Yeah.
I can agree that I can disagree that he's number 5, but go ahead.
Okay, we'll get into that. Number 4, we have Dame Dollars Lillard. Dame has been great. We started off slow. The team started off slower in the season. It dealt with a lot of injury. Since the All-Star break, he's been magnificent. He's been the best player in the bubble on one of the hottest teams, and he's the hottest player right now. And he's just simply been nearly flawless. And again, I don't know how anybody can debate him not being top 5 as we speak. So Dame Lillard, number 4.
Okay.
Number 3, we have the Beard himself, the greatest left-hander of all in NBA history. This guy been the greatest scorer in the last 4 years. Another great year, averaging over 34 points.
Mm-hmm.
Just been great from start to finish. I mean, actually, he started off slow. If you can recall, he started off shooting very bad the first 10 games of the season.
And their chemistry was terrible, adding Westbrook. They could not get it together in Houston at the beginning. That's a fact.
That's a fact. But after the All-Star break, him and Westbrook has been pretty much dominant. I mean, what can you say? They traded Capella and
okay, we got number 3 out the way. This is here we go. Here we go. Number 2. This is where I want to talk about. Let's get into your number 2 person.
Number 2, we have the reigning MVP with soon to be back-to-back MVP, Greek Antetokounmpo.
Wow.
He's been he's just simply been the most dominant player this year. Like, last year I didn't believe in him. This year has totally won me over. He's become a great player. He's a great player on and off the court. He's very smart now. Like, the guy just gets better every year. Remind me of a young LeBron, how he used to just get better and better every year. So Greek Freak, you can make an argument he should win Defensive Player of the Year as well. I mean, the numbers, I haven't seen a season this dominant since Steph Curry unanimous MVP season. So Greek Freak has been historically great. Number 2 is the Greek Freak.
And your number 1, oh my goodness. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you name your number 1 player. It's safe to say that this person is coming from out the LA, Los Angeles area.
Yes, of course. He's been a great player for a long time. by the way.
Who's your number one?
Multiple rings.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Let's get into this. This is where it gets interesting.
It really shouldn't be, but
Number one.
You're about to make it interesting.
Number one out of LA has been is having a great career thus far. Multiple finals MVPs, multiple rings. He's been all NBA. He's been an all-star MVP. He's been a great defender all his career. He has gotten better every year. Very strong. Great leader.
Wow.
On and off the court. Okay, so let's talk about this player let's get to it. The number one player in LA in the NBA is Kawhi, the game management, the load management king. You know, on our second topic we was asking was LeBron pacing or aging, and I said he was aging, but I'm saying today that Kawhi is pacing. He's on a total opposite. Kawhi, I mean, what he did last year was magnificent. What he's doing this year is magnificent. He has paced himself. He's a great clutch player. Still one of the greatest defenders, even though I think he don't play great intensity on defense as he once did. But here we are in the playoff. We here now. So the best player in the NBA is still Kawhi Leonard, and that's my top five.
That is the worst top five I've ever heard in my life. You did not have LeBron James in your top five. That automatically we'll throw that out the window. But I'm looking at what you're saying, how you try to describe Kawhi Leonard. He's such a good leader. A guy who don't even play. So much hype was on Kawhi Leonard. They didn't even get the 1 seed. They didn't even win the season series against the Lakers. He sold everybody a bunch of goods and they wasn't good. Kawhi Leonard did nothing as far as expectation this year. You want to have someone out your top five? To me, it's going to be Kawhi Leonard. So here we go. My top five for the 2020 NBA season, including the bubble. At number 5, I'm going with James Harden. His scoring ability, what he was able to still produce even with having Westbrook in the mix when everybody feel like Westbrook hold a lot of people back. I was impressed with James Harden, and for the simple fact that they haven't missed a beat as far as playoff presence. They didn't compromise their opportunities to go in the postseason. So I got
that's
James.
Too low. That's too low, but continue.
That's too low. Okay, explain to me how that's too low when I have to have Dame Lillard at number 4 because of I'm sorry. I have AD, Anthony Davis, number 4. Even though he was dominant this season, I knew that even when LeBron saying that everything was going to go through Anthony Davis, it wasn't going to end up like that. So Anthony Davis did not exceed expectations. He did what he was supposed to do. He's definitely a top 5 player. So I'm putting Anthony Davis at number 4.
That's fair. That's fair.
Number 3, I have Dame Lillard. Not only because of his production, the Portland Trailblazers as a whole has been a roller coaster. They didn't have Carmelo all year. When they got him, he had to get it, he had to get in the mix. McCollum was not an all-star really this year to me. They've been dealing with injuries on the front court. So Dame has had to overcome a whole lot in the Western Conference this year. And for them to be at the position they at, real valuable. So I got Dame at number 3. Number 2, I'm giving it to Giannis. I'm giving it to the Greek Freak. Undeniable is what he's done as far as talent. But, hey, it's all about when they count. And I'm not giving him any praise until he do something in the playoffs. What I seen from him in the playoffs last year stink. And
Wait
number
a minute,
one,
you're not giving praise, but you have him number 2. So
yeah, because they're in
kind
the East, they're in the Eastern Conference, and he's just so dominant. Like for me to not put him at the top of the East, I would have to be a hater because KD is not playing, Kyrie is not playing, so it's like by default. There's no competition in these.
But you have him number 2 as number 2 best player in the world.
For this year, absolutely. Because number one, we have the 35-year-old, year 17 man from Akron, Ohio.
Wait a minute. Before we get into that, I'm looking at your top 4, and you just said Lillard is not. I mean, I'm sorry, Kawhi is not in your top 5. If that's the case, I would think. I mean, as far as the players that's left, you must have Luka Doncic number 1.
No, I'm at number 1 with LeBron, no doubt. Are you kidding me? Luka? No. LeBron James, his average. Look what LeBron has had to deal with this year. Coming off of injury, coming off of not making the playoffs, getting AD, the whole team changed. Dealing with the death of Kobe Bryant right in your backyard. Having a pandemic, 35 years old. Are you kidding me? This man went down 2 points scoring and went up 2 points in assists. And you're telling me he's fading away. Clearly, LeBron James is the best player in the NBA by far. By far. He may not be the best shooter. He may not be the best defender. But overall, man, it's not even close. It's not even
close. You really just you conflicting yourself because you said last year they didn't make the playoffs.
He was injured.
This year they number 1. Now, what's the biggest difference of last year's team and this team?
LeBron was healthy. That's the biggest difference.
No. There we go. Anthony Davis, the best player on their team, is the difference of them being out the playoffs and being a number 1 seed.
That is
Anthony
not true.
Davis
that is not true.
They
were number 4 seed before LeBron got hurt last year with the young guys, with Lonzo Ball. Come on, stop it. You're giving AD a little bit too much praise. You're going to make me sound like a hater on my own man. No.
You have to be hated because, first of all, you have LeBron rated over him, that 4 slots higher. And then you give LeBron all this credit when AD leads the team in every statistical category except assists.
And why is that?
And LeBron, and he's a big reason why LeBron leads the league in assists too. So how can LeBron be better than AD when AD leads him in points, rebounds, blocks, steals, free throw attempts, free throws made, free throw percent? Lead the team in PER, if I'm not mistaken. So how do you explain that, sir?
It's amazing how you want to give Dwayne Wade so much credit.
Man, he ain't talking.
No, okay. Because you do this, and I got to revisit history. You give Dwayne Wade so much credit for taking the back seat to LeBron, making it seem like he was a real leader for doing that. LeBron does the same thing, and it's all about AD.
First of all,
and yet when D Wade took the back seat to LeBron, D Wade never exceeded none of his stats. LeBron took a back seat to AD on purpose and still exceeded stats. That's crazy. In year 17.
What,
yes.
He can't put the ball in the hoop as great as he used to, so he has to dish it off.
That's not true. His efficiency is way better than Anthony Davis. Let's be clear on that. You look at the field goal percentage, you look at the 3-point percentage, he shoots better than AD.
Nah, we have to debate that. I mean, inside the 3-point line, I give AD over LeBron, but we're not about to say LeBron is a good shooter and a great shooter. No, we're not going to do that.
LeBron is definitely a good shooter. Man, we out of here, man. This is the Best of 7 Sports Talk. 7 Mitchell J.O. Salute to everybody that was in the live chat. Like, comment, and subscribe. This was an action-packed podcast as J.O. promised and predicted. I got to talk to the bosses on this Sunday afternoon because there's a lot of blasphemy going on. And I know God is watching. NBA playoffs start tomorrow, I believe, 1:30. We got games all day. We'll be tapping in later on this week to revisit some of these games from the first round. J.O., you got any last thoughts before we get up out of here?
Last thoughts. Aaron Rodgers will have an MVP-like bounce-back season this year, and I see the Packers doing big things this year.
Even with Brady in Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Okay, we'll see. Aaron Rodgers, he will never see the promised land again. I'm sorry.
Let's see what them Ravens about this year.
Yeah, you already know what we're about. All right, man. We are out of here, man. Signing off. Salute. This is the Best of 7 Sports Talk. 7 Mitchell J.O.